All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever it is in the world you are streaming here in the Twitter app, YouTube, X, across Prophet X's channels on the internet. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around roughly, let's call it 6 or 7 o'clock Eastern, depending on what we got going on in the world. It's your boy, Rob Perez, Worldwide Rob, with you here. This is meant to be a community direct interaction show. It's for the Friday Q&A. Whatever's on your mind, this would be the place to ask. And I understand a lot of people are going to be coming in here. There's a reason why we're tardy. And I do not have any answers for you. I thankfully stopped the stream. What's up, everyone? Wow, a lot of people in the chat today. Okay, so we do get some news that for now, yes, the police chase that just happened here in Los Angeles, a huge deal. It's just a crazy person that massive wrecks. I'm glad we stopped the stream because the helicopter went back to the crash scenes and the jaws of life were pulling people out of the cars from the wreck, and there was like old people involved. It was pretty fucking terrible. So hopefully for now everyone is okay from that. But we move on because we have a busy slate in the NBA tonight. You guys know, you see Prophet X at the bottom of your screen, but this is one of those massive CLV nights that has me with everything ready to go. You guys see how the New York Knicks right now are favored by one. There's, according to Doc Rivers tonight, a 50-50 chance that Giannis is going to sit. He is a true game time decision. And if he sits, you know what's going to happen to this line. The New York Knicks PK, there were a couple point underdogs. I know it's already moved, but there will be massive, massive implications for this one as the New York Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks are scheduled to play in Milwaukee tonight. And I think the Knicks are without any of their point guards. So that's great. Campaign's out. Jalen Brunson. Sorry, I'm a little flustered from that chase, and I had to put on a new shirt because I was all sweaty. I had to come in here and turn that around very quickly from getting my mind right from what we just witnessed to now trying to focus and make a little bit of money and talk with you guys. So bear with me through the first couple of minutes here, because if you suffered that trauma that we just did watching that, you would understand. But we move on. So I do have all sorts of player props with like Brooke Lopez and Kyle Kuzma going to go through the roof if Giannis is out tonight. Gary Trent Jr., I've got them all loaded. And the moment that this news drops, we're going to try and scoop up some of these lines here. I don't know what the Knicks are going to look like without any of their point guards, to be honest with you, but let's pull this back up on the screen just to speculate and show you what I'm talking about. What is with this, by the way? The Knicks -1 plus 111. Steph Curry is a go tonight for the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry is a go officially. So all of these games, Detroit is the only one that's tipping off in the 4 o'clock window in the Pacific time zone. And Cade Cunningham's not there. This should have been a super hype game, like a 90s in the fun rating, but Cade is still nursing his calf injury. So just for shits and giggles for now, we are going to book the Knicks, just hoping that Giannis does not play, but we're not going to overexpose ourselves. Give me a second while I put in this $15 bet. All right. There's some liquidity for you out there in the market. Again, if you are looking to make any sort of prop bets or spread bets, ProfitX is our preferred exchange here because it's peer-to-peer. You're not betting against a sports book. You're betting against other people, and there is liquidity in the market that is necessary. So we certainly encourage you to use them. Okay. Soul Bear King in the chat says, good day. It was 100% LeBron's fault. What are you referencing that was LeBron's fault? You're going to have to be more specific with how this week has played out. I think you're talking about the game last night. So had this conversation at length a little bit earlier today, but we will go into further detail. So the first moment, the calamity of errors begins when he's kind of stuck in no man's land between Patrick Williams and Vooch at the top of the key. And he was stuck in no man's land because for a split second there, he probably thought that Austin Reeves was not going to get out there, even as the Lakers were in straight switching. You're up by what? They were up by 5 points. And and he saw that Vooch potentially was going to get the ball, but Vooch did a great job of, while in the air, throwing a pass over his head to the corner, where Patrick Williams, who's not a great three-point shooter, so that's probably another reason why LeBron was willing to give him an extra step of cheating towards closing out at the above the break positioning. So he's late to closing out Patrick Williams. Splash. Now, LeBron inbounds the basketball, and his first error, and there was an error that was done before this, but let me just finish with LeBron real quick. His first error was even thinking, if for some reason that inbound is successful in getting to a Los Angeles Laker, it was in the coffin corner. Like, that was just a lackadaisical, careless pass with no intention. Even if your guy gets it there, what's the purpose? You're going to get double teamed, and you're getting quadruple teamed. There's going to be two Bulls defenders, and then there's a sideline and a baseline. So your teammate is in deep shit. You know what's going to happen then? The timeout that you should have used to advance the basketball to prevent all of these things happening in the backcourt, you move the ball to the front court. And even if you get a 5-second violation, it's not the end of the world, because the Bulls themselves have to still inbound. They can call a timeout in advance, but you get to change up your defense, you get to change up your lineups and entrench your defense. But JJ Redick not calling a timeout there to advance the basketball. I don't care what the reason is. The math, you eliminate so many possibilities of what can go wrong that you put LeBron in that spot, and then you're like, well, I trust our guys in the lineup that was on the floor. That's fine. 95% of the time, you're winning that game. Then it's a terrible inbounds pass to the corner. If he catches it, he's dead. And then you have to inbound from the coffin corner. That was a terrible decision. It was a terrible decision by LeBron to think that was where to go with the basketball instead of running the baseline. It was a calamity of errors. And then at the other end, Austin Reaves, who had just rolled his ankle, I think earlier in that game, scores the last, 6-7 points. He sets up Jackson Hayes. He was a fucking warrior at the end of that one. And nobody cares anymore because of what happened with Josh Giddey throwing up that shot at the buzzer. The story from that game should have been, this was the first time since Luka Doncic's minutes restriction has been lifted in the 5 or 6 games that all of them have run concurrently on the floor together, that Austin Reaves looked like he fit in as the third wheel. We know how good he is when he's the secondary option, when there's no Luka and there's no LeBron. Last night was the first time where you could say we figured it out with Austin Reaves on the floor, and they deferred to him. And I'm asking the question, what are you going to do with Austin Reaves? What are you going to do with Austin Reaves? In a playoff game, is he just going to stand over there? Last night, they showed you exactly what they're capable of, but now there's a much bigger issue. And for the Lakers, go look at the standings. That was a monumental loss. You lose it's a 2-game swing in the standings. Now, granted, there's no tiebreaker implications because Chicago is in the Eastern Conference, but it's a 2-game loss. You're now down to the 4 seed or the 5 seed or whatever. You would be playing the Memphis Grizzlies, ironically enough, in the first round. But now you're with your schedule, you have to go to Oklahoma City to play 2 games soon. You play Memphis up next. All it takes is a couple of losses. You're going to end up in the play-in tournament. And that first game in the play-in tournament this year, it's going to be against a Golden State, a Minnesota, or the Clippers. Do you know what the penalty is for losing that game? The play-in tournament, you do get a reprieve, and they'll end up probably beating whoever, the Suns, the Mavericks, whatever. I would assume the Lakers are going to be the favorites in that second sudden death playoff play-in tournament game. But if you win there, you get 24 hours off, then you fly to Oklahoma City. You have death waiting for you. The Grim Reaper of basketball, at least in the Western Conference, is there. They're going to be heavy, heavy favorites regardless of who they play, and they'll have time rest. Man, that was a big loss last night. And JJ Redick used the word devastating for a reason. Devastating loss. Now the Lakers have to beat Memphis. And can we use that real quick as a segue? Sorry, let me catch up with the chat. Sorry, this is an opportunity for me to vent. And not that I had enough time already today with 3 hours, but oh, Giannis is available? Giannis is in? Is that official? I didn't see anything. Did I miss it? I don't see it. Where are you guys seeing that Giannis is? I didn't get an alert. For those who mind the game, pun intended, that was a wild mistake on Bron and JJ. 15 minutes ago? Hold on, guys. I gotta pull this up. Give me a second, would you? Why didn't the alert come through 15 minutes ago? Giannis is. Oh, he is available to play. Damn it. Drats. News that's right as I went live. That's so annoying. The game's not for like another. That's why the line. All right, minus. Why hasn't the line moved at all? Knicks are still favored by 1. I'm gonna hold it, but God, what Giannis is gonna do to our team tonight. God, that Knicks defense. Okay, can we get back to the topic at hand? So since Giannis is in, that's super annoying. But I'm going to hold my next ticket here. Oh, okay, the Grizzlies stuff. You saw that Ja's been upgraded to questionable now. And it's not just because they're playing the Lakers. Which, man, I mean what we said today, that I don't think it's fair to speculate as to the reasons why Taylor Jenkins was dismissed from the Grizzlies. It could be for basketball, it could be for something else. But if Ja Morant just happens to come back the first game after he's fired, we're all going to ask the question, like, why was he out and now all of a sudden he's ready to play? That's a coincidence? We're supposed to believe that? Even I'm trying to remain as level-headed as possible, and I don't think I can even get there. What do you guys think about that? Oh, God, Jamal Murray's now a game-time decision for Denver. Oh, God, there's so much happening today. Can I just get a break from the internet for like 1 fucking minute? I mean, they're playing Utah. 18.5-point favorites. So if Jamal's out, that means Westbrook, but why would Westbrook play heavy minutes against Utah? Is that a Peyton Watson game? Christian Brown? Who is the beneficiary of Jamal Murray being out tonight? Is it really Westbrook? Would they run Westbrook into the ground again like they did in Golden State? So you're going to win without Russ going for 42 minutes. Grizzlies reporters were saying it's to go to more pick and roll based offense. That's their reasoning? There's 9 games left in the season. You don't pull the plug on a head coach 9 games before. I mean, after this season, anything is possible, especially with the Luka trade. And we just have to wrap our heads around ridiculous shit happening in the NBA. But you pulling the plug on a coach before the playoffs start, and I understand you're promoting from within, and that guy's probably got good rapport with his players. They wouldn't have done this unless they were confident. But you have to ask Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. first before you do it, right? But they got rid of all the other assistants. This is a weird one. You want to run that by Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. if you're getting rid of if it's during the offseason, all right. We totally get it. Like you can say Taylor Jenkins just wasn't the right fit the way that they let go of Bickerstaff in Cleveland. Look what happened to Bickerstaff. He could almost be coach of the year if it wasn't for Kenny. So then Taylor Jenkins will get picked up somewhere. He's still a great coach. His system may be better somewhere else. I could understand that in the summer, in the offseason, but not a week and a half before the playoffs, when every game right now is the playoffs. What the fuck is going on, man? What is going on lately? I don't think I don't think it's as obvious as they just wanted to change up their tactics before the playoffs. Man, Taylor Jenkins coached 456 games for the Grizzlies and has been there for the entirety of Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr.'s development. Even if they're not getting along, what type of precedent does that set? I don't feel like I'm out of pocket thinking about that. Man, and the Board of Governors meeting with Adam Silver, too. Like, expansion is now off the table. because they're moving to Europe. They're going to put all their focus in the Europe League, the NBA Europe League. Sounds like they're going to have some form of like relegation over there. Is there going to be a community shield with the winner of the US NBA? They play the Europe champion every year. Is this this has been an eventful day. Did T. Morant get him fired? Man, if Ja Morant is back after all this time he's missed recently, if he's back the day Taylor Jenkins gets fired, that's not the best look. It may be a necessary look, but that would suggest that he certainly had a part in this. Why is he sitting out? Is he trying to make a point? Is he actually hurt? Memphis Grizzlies better learn from the Philadelphia 76ers, because you know what the 76ers tried to pull with us at the beginning of the season? Oh, Joel Embiid's knee's fine. Like he's just rehabbing it. He's coming back. But then every detail was vague, and they're putting him in front of the cameras, and they just would never tell you what was actually happening. They'd give you a bunch of word salad. So then guess what happens? The fans justifiably start coming up with their own theories. They start blaming Joel Embiid for playing on Team USA. They start blaming Nick Nurse because the team is struggling. And then they start forming their own opinions because you decided not to go out there and tell the truth and give the people something to some form of closure. And if you're Memphis and you're like, oh, we just got rid of Taylor Jenkins and we're going to start the playoffs. Okay, bye. No, you better win the fucking championship if you're not going to give us that. Idle mind is a devil's playground. This has been a week. This has been a week. Too much off the court antics. Too much off the court drama. If you're watching this and you're interested in chatting, by the way, if you're on X Twitter, there's a button at the bottom of the screen that says say something. If you're on a mobile device, that's how you enter the chat. I know it's a little difficult. It's weird because it doesn't auto-populate now. And what's this? X just got acquired by XAI? What the fuck? Isn't that his own business? So like one of his own. It's that meme where the guy wearing the shirt, the Christmas present, the old guy, holds up the same exact shirt and he's smiling for the camera. Like, oh, thanks. I can't click links, unfortunately. So whatever that says, Raka. What's up, Jalen? What's on your mind? I see you. Snack says, just jumping in. I don't know if I've missed, but who's got next? Steve Nash? In regards to Memphis? I think they're going to rock with that. That coach is pretty accomplished that they promoted in the interim. He was Euro Cup champion, Euro Cup coach of the year, a former Finnish professional player. Like he's supposedly very, very sharp. So it's not as if he's not worthy of the opportunity, but it's just the timing of this. Yeah, on the surface, it didn't look like Ja Morant and Jenkins had. This is why we need answers, man, because we're going to sit here and keep thinking of them ourselves, and most of them will be inaccurate. And then you let those inaccurate narratives run long enough, and lies just become the truth. We see that in the world outside of basketball. I need more evidence for a WAB investigation. WAB investigations always have a solution or a result. True word named of Serial says straight wickedness has been going on and off the court. This shit in the media too. Was there a ghost in the back of LeBron's head when he was inbounding that ball yesterday? Right after he had the game-winning tip in Indiana. Kobe White's ascension to franchise cornerstone. There's so much going on. Knicks Bucks is going to be the most cursed playoff series, man. It really is. The Bucks are so bad. The Knicks are not championship contenders. Jalen Brunson's hurt. They don't play defense. The next Blatt. You know what? I was talking about David Blatt on the show today. Talk about a guy like a European or EuroLeague coach. Or, yeah, FIBA. I always get FIBA, EuroLeague, depending on what they're in. Confused. But X's and O's genius didn't mesh with LeBron from a chemistry standpoint, and those European coaches are very notorious for being the coach is the team and the players fall into line behind the coach. It's not as much of a collaborative effort as it is in the NBA. So now you get that coach with a Ja Morant. I'm just speculating because you're not giving me answers. What does the timing suggest to you? Pero wants to win a chip and the Grizzlies get blown out by the Western. The Grizzlies are nowhere close. They could bring in the great Red Auerbach. The Jazz just ruled out Walker Kessler to an illness. The Jazz, man, the Jazz must have watched Cooper Flagg last night, and they must have increased the amount of cash in Ryan Smith's drawer for the fines that are coming because Walker Kessler all of a sudden is sick again. This is ridiculous. He's out there shooting 8 threes a night, and now he's sick of shooting threes. They are like, this is a tank job for the ages. Then the next fine, so they were fined $100,000. I think the next fine's $250,000 for player participation policy violations. But Walker Kessler's not considered a star. You would have think he was consulted. He consulted Ja in all of this. I would tend to think so as well. Wouldn't you? And it's not speaking to player empowerment. That's not a player empowerment thing. Like the stars are taking over the league. It's just good business. And this is what we talked about earlier. If you are going to invest in Cade Cunningham in a supermax and have him be a part of your franchise for the next 7 years, let's say, knowing how important he is, you probably want to collaborate or give him a seat on the board. He doesn't have to make the decision, but you want to at least include him, right? Because he's such a vital part of your business. It's just good business. Man, I am pissed that Giannis is not out of the lineup tonight. So does that mean we're getting Tyler Kolek like starters minutes, big minutes, 30 minutes? Who knows with Tibbs? Why is Steph back tonight too? Yeah, Taylor Jenkins is absolutely. What's up, Peso? Long time no speak. Yeah, Jenkins is he's going to get a job the same way JB Bickerstaff got a job, and he's going to do well. Just because a coach gets fired doesn't mean like, oh, I knew it. He's terrible. Sometimes these coaches just need different situations. And it was the inverse for look how good Monty Williams was with the Phoenix Suns. And then he ended up in Detroit with all the seasons of futility that they had. So Peso, now that you're here, should I get off my New York Knicks pick tonight? Now they're out to 1.5. Milwaukee's 1.5 point favorites. Now I just got to sit on it and try and get off of it at halftime. But God, Milwaukee sucks. They're the only team that sucks worse than the Knicks right now. DeLon Wright is starting. I just got the DeLon Wright officially starting for the Knicks over Deuce McBride. Oh my God. Maybe I should get off this shit. Do I hedge my big $15 bet? Damn, 1.5. Ugh. Kind of want to hedge. Give me a second. Give me a second, people. I'm going to lower my risk here a little bit. Uh, 1.5. Why is the money line minus 108? Wow, the Warriors are sending out Curry, Pajemski, Butler, Moody, and Draymond against the Pelicans. What did the poor Pelicans do to you? What did those poor Pellies do to you? Um, yeah, I don't. Who are the Knicks going to throw at Giannis? Let's see. And it's not even like having OG on him matters. The Knicks' help defense is just so bad. How much of this risk do I hedge away? So let's see. Give me a second here, people. I need to do some math. So to win 160 or lose 400. Ugh. Ugh. I hate hedging when I miss the number. Got to lower some of my risk. I was hoping Giannis was going to be a no-go. Is there, you know what? Is there a strategy tonight in taking Giannis's unders? I'm listening. I'm listening to that loud and clear. Peso, I know you're in here. Some of these Giannis unders with his foot injury. What are we looking at? Under 29. You know what? 29 and a half. The foot injury is a lot. Okay, give me $15 on Giannis's under, just in case that foot injury flares up. He was 50-50 coming in, that's all. All right. He'll probably have 50 points with the Knicks defense. Slowest fucking defense in the world. Oh my god. How many times do they just not pick up guys after a make and then they get a wide open layup? It's like the Phoenix Suns of the Eastern Conference. New to these exchanges, I would use Bucks. Yeah, it's a peer-to-peer exchange, so it's built like a sports book. Do they do third quarters, Peso? Let's find out. Let's find out. First half. I don't see individual quarters. It's fine. I'll just ride with the Giannis under. And I hedged off Knicks money line. It's fine. All right, what else you guys got? He's going to hit 30 in the mid. Yeah, of course he is. No one has slower rotations than the New York Knicks, let me tell you. Vid in the chat says you are not firing your head coach with 9 games left in the season and the playoffs starting. That is insane. Something must have happened for it to be so sudden. I have a feeling it's more than just his inability to go to pick and rolls. And John Morant was like, I'm not going to the playoffs with this guy not running pick and rolls. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? every fan in the chat's like, excuse me, the Knicks, how may I interest you in some Sacramento Kings with Levine and DeRozan? I mean, when I watch the Knicks, it is hard. They can't guard their own shadow. And it's crazy is they have so many great point of attack defenders on the perimeter too, with Hart, McHale, and OG, and all it takes is just dribbling by one of them. And the Knicks have the slowest rotations in the world. There's a reason why, with a record 20 games over 500 or near it, they are at the bottom of the league in conceding 3-point percentage to their opponents because all they do is allow wide open shots. The starting lineup for the Knicks tonight is DeLon Wright. Actually, I don't hate that DeLon. As long as Tyler Kolek comes off the bench, that's fine. But DeLon Wright, you got a veteran presence at point guard with Bridges, OG, Hart, and Cat. How do I feel about first round East matchups? I'm desperately rooting for the Knicks to get matched up against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Pacers and the Pistons will give them hell, especially if Jalen Brunson isn't 100% healthy. So the Knicks are very good against the Bucks when both teams have all their guys. I probably prefer the Bucks. Anyone playing the Cavs, that's a sweep. Boston, that's a sweep. Knicks beat the Bucks, and then the 4-5 with the Pistons and the Pacers, that's a war. Too bad all those games would be on NBA TV, but I think if you're a Pistons fan out there, you want the Pistons to play the Knicks because you'll be on TNT, Madison Square Garden. Cade Cunningham will get that platform, right? And you've already proven this season one of your best wins all year was going into Madison Square Garden and getting a victory. Is Giannis on a minutes restriction? Asks Vegan Barbie. I haven't seen anything regarding that, but that's why I took his under on ProfitX. We took the under because I'm just going to speculate that that foot's going to flare up to some extent, and maybe he won't run his full quartet of minutes. All right. Well, with all of that said, sorry, every time I'm silent because I'm just reading the chat, making sure I didn't miss anything. If you guys don't have anything else, would you say, Peso? I'm patiently waiting for the Cavs to win the East price to reach plus 200. You'll get that. You get something close to that in the series if they lose one game in Cleveland. If they lose home court, they'll be plus 200. There's no point in taking anything Cavaliers until the Eastern Conference Finals. No point. And then you hope they lose game one, and then the reset of that series will be Cavs plus 200. I wonder what it will be. Will it be a coin flip? Will it be 110-110? Since they have home court over the Celtics, they have games 1, 2, 5, and 7. That's a big deal. I bet it's plus, the series between those two is going to be plus 130, minus 150. Plus 130 for the Cavs, minus 150 for the Celtics. And Celtics are going to win that series. We can argue about that another time. Which 90s team was the best, eliminating injuries? Was the Knicks' best? 94, obviously. 93 team was really good too, though. Just Jordan. Yeah. I'm not. You guys know I'm going to release my playoff predictions as soon as the playoffs get here. But I'll tell you right now, unless there's a major injury or suspension, it's the Celtics are going to win the title again. They're too good. '97. No, 94. That 94 Knicks team was the best Knicks team. They're one John Stark shot away from just being certified, obviously, forever in perpetuity. Yeah, Porzingis being back. And Boston is too stacked. That's why they're so far into the luxury tax. They're going to have to let go of Porzingis this summer. Otherwise, Porzingis is going to cost them like $400 million in multiplier luxury tax over the course of his contract. That new buyer that's paying $6.1 billion. By the way, underrated storyline. That is not complete. And you know why? Because the NBA requires that their owners own the majority of their share out of pocket, not through private equity firms. And his private equity firm has been fronting most of the cash, and the NBA is like, no. So this deal's not done yet. But if that guy takes over and he keeps Porzingis, they are way into the second apron. They can't do anything. They won't have draft picks, but they'll have a championship team that's quite obviously the best team in the league. So do you keep Porzingis? Is he worth $500 million? Not to just pay him, but the luxury tax as well. So it's going to be a Kristaps Porzingis that they just salary dump to get below the line so they don't owe a massive bar tab at the end of the night. There's compounding interest on luxury tax, and it continues to multiply. All the other teams get the benefit of receiving that. Adrian says Hauser costs $90 million with a $10 million salary, right? That's what the Celtics are facing next year. They're going to keep the team together this season, obviously, because we're headed towards the playoffs and they're running it back and they're the championship favorites, but they are paying big time to do it. You'd love to see that, by the way. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it. If you want to spend that much money on your team being great, so be it. Everyone's playing by the same rules. The Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves chose to not have those same championship teams or the teams because of either current or future conflicts with their big committed salaries to their star players. That's why Cat got moved. That's why they didn't retain Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in Denver. Milwaukee is handicapped. Phoenix, they tried, but their team stinks, and they're going to have to disassemble it because of the second apron. It's too much, just even for them, yeah. Even for the Celtics, it's probably too much. It's too much money for everyone, maybe other than Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer would pay, if he could, Steve Ballmer would pay $5 billion just to win a championship. Yeah, absolutely. But you have to do it within the constraints of the collective bargaining agreement and the salary cap. So if he has an opportunity to assemble a team that goes into the second apron and it's worthwhile doing it, he would. He didn't pay Paul George, not because he doesn't have the money, nor was he scared of the luxury tax. He didn't pay Paul George because Paul George is not Paul George anymore. Yeah, and then you got Luke Cornett. The Celtics have 4 centers. They have 4 centers that can play. They could lose Horford and Porzingis, and they put out Neemias Queta and Luke Cornett, and they just don't miss a fucking beat. They got 15 guys on that team. They can face any form of adversity. They're too good. They're too good. The Celtics are going to win again. The Cavs will put up a valiant fight. They'll lose in 6. And then OKC is probably the most legitimate, but I just don't know if they're ready for it. The Celtics are bona fide, cemented veterans, as good as Oklahoma City, have an offense that I know OKC's defense has been stalwart this year, but the league's based on offense. And the Celtics got the best one. Everyone's trying to emulate. You see what Alabama did yesterday in March Madness? They're getting they got more 3-pointers up. So many 3-pointers up, you could have taken away all their 2s and they still would have beaten BYU. That shit happens because the Celtics are rewriting how to play the game of basketball. The same way Steph Curry did it as a player, the Celtics are doing it as a team. 5 out, 0 in offense. It's just perfect. It's an assembly line of basketball. All 5 guys can spread the floor and shoot. All 5 guys can defend. All 5 guys, they're playing positionless basketball. They can interchange all parts. So they're just better. Stop trying to be the Celtics. You will never be the Celtics. Only the Celtics can be the Celtics. So you got to beat them with a different style. Tiles in the chat asks, is OKC playing more than 5 games in any series in the West? Good question. Maybe against Denver, maybe against the Lakers. Maybe my sneaky dark horse team, the Clippers. Here I go again. Oh my God. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Fucking Clippers looking great, going to the playoffs. Kawhi is demon playing 40 minutes a night 3 times a week. Harden, it looks good. I can't do this. Can't do this. I can't do this. I'm not going to perjure myself. Sorry. It's Denver, the Lakers, and the Clippers. Yeah. Those are the 3 that can win more than 2 games against OKC. Not again. I can't. They're the reason why I've had such shitty playoff predictions 2 straight years, because I'm like, this is the team. It's the team. It's got to be the team. Something always fucking happens. I know we've seen this. I can't. I just. They're good. They're good in Zubac's development. They're good, man. If I had to bet any futures today, what would you take for the Celtics as finals champs? Plus 200? No. And none of these numbers right now. You wait for the Celtics to lose the first game of a series and get stolen, and then you come back on them when the odds reset and change. Wait for an injury or something. Like, no, you'll never get the best of the number right now. That number will always be there. No betting the Cavs, no betting the Celtics. Wait till the playoffs. They have futures on here? Did I ask this question already? Womp womp. I got all my Laker tickets ready to go for the playoffs. Hey, we're way over limit, by the way. I do appreciate you guys hanging out today. It's been I haven't stopped streaming since 10 a.m. 3 hours of radio, and it was the most intense show we've done for obvious reasons. Just had the craziest police chase of the season of the year. I played tennis for an hour. I haven't even eaten breakfast yet. Then I just streamed with you guys for an hour. Now I got to go watch hoops. And then I got to play poker tonight. And there's probably going to be another police chase. It never stops. We're not even at the playoffs yet. And I have to do a post-game show during the playoffs. 2 hours. Yeah. Hey, your boy, Tasim. I appreciate you guys taking the time. I do this for you because I heard your complaints about not being able to reach me directly the way we used to communicate. So if you don't have Sirius XM, you know, I'm in the Bleacher Report app multiple times a week doing a show there too. If you don't do those things, that's what this show is for, is more direct interaction. And I can actually read your questions and talk about whatever. So if you want to keep doing this shit, you need to show up and just participate. This is only Q&A. I'm not here to reveal anything I haven't done already in previous programs. So this is just community engagement, whether you want to talk odds or anything else that's going on. Q&A. It's true Q&A. That's all. I'm going to go make some, I'm hungry. I'm going to go make some spaghetti with meat sauce. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out on a Friday. I am going to say goodbye, but I'll be back on Monday for some more Q&A. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right around this time. Let's call it 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 to 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a good weekend, everybody. Adios.